Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all again with the greeting words of peace. We said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. For those who don't know, that simply means peace be unto you. And when you see anybody say wa alaikum salam, they're just returning the greeting of peace back to me. Ramadan Mubarak as well. Ramadan Mubarak is them or us wishing someone a blessed Ramadan. And when you hear somebody or see somebody say Ramadan Kareem, that's them simply saying they wishing them back a blessed Ramadan. Today we are on part number 14. Man, we pushing through. We halfway through this thing, boy. Once we finish this today, I mean, we on part 15. We're going to have 15 more days left. I hope everybody fast been going well. You ain't broke your fast. You're getting your prayers in. You're growing, staying away from negativity as much as you can. Hard to do in a world like this here, ain't it? Boy, it's hard to do. But you can strive, but it's hard to do. This is Satan's world. Negativity is much easier to get into, ain't it? All right, we're on part number 14. For those who don't know, this is Surah 15. Did I say 15? We're on part 14. Surah 15, ayat number 2 is where we're starting at. If you have the Maulana Muhammad Ali version, we are on page 524. If you have the Maulana Muhammad Ali version, we are on 524. Okay, we got our cue. We got our readers. Okay, we got our cue. We got our readers. All right, let's get started, family. Let's get started. Shout out to everybody who's still here. Everybody ain't still here. Oh, we pulling it up today. We got a special treat. Let me hold on, because I'm about to read, but I'm going to let the YouTube people see it too. Y'all going to get a chance to see it. Let me pull this up here. Page 524. It's like a little blurry on my side, though. Okay, there we go. All right. Y'all should be able to see it on the screen. Brother Ben is awake today. Oh, we got a little energy today. Oh, yeah. I've been tired like a mug, boy. Okay, part number 14. Let's go. Often will those who disbelieve wish that they were Muslims. Leave them to eat and enjoy themselves and let false hope beguile them, for they will soon know. And never did we destroy a town, but it had a decree made known. No people can hasten on their doom, nor can they postpone it. And they say, O thou to whom the reminder is revealed, thou art indeed mad. Why bringest thou not the angels to us, if thou art of the truthful? We send not angels, but with truth. And then they would not be respited. Surely we have revealed the reminder, and surely we are its guardian. And certainly we sent messengers before thee among the sects of yore. And there never came a messenger to them, but they mocked him. Thus do we make it enter the hearts of the guilty. They believe not in it, and the example of the ancients have gone before. And even if we open to them a gate of heaven and they keep on ascending into it, they would say, only our eyes have been covered over. Rather, we are an enchanted people. Section 2, forces of evil will be destroyed. And certainly we have made strongholds in the heavens, in the heaven, and we have made it fair seeming to the beholders. And we guarded against every cursed devil, but he who steals a hearing, so there follows him a visible flame. And the earth we have spread it out and made in it firm mountains and caused to grow in it of every suitable thing. And we have made in it means of sustenance for you and for him for whom you provide not. And there is not a thing, but with us are the treasures of it. And we send it not down, but in a known measure. And we send the winds fertilizing, then send down water from the clouds. So we give it to you to drink, nor is it you who store it up. And surely it is we who give life and cause death, and we are the inheritors. And certainly we know those among you who go forth, and we certainly know those who lag behind. And surely thy Lord will gather them together. He indeed is wise, knowing. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Section 3, the devil's opposition to the righteous. And surely we created man of sounding clay, of black mud, fashioned into shape. And the jinn we created before of intensely hot fire. And when thy Lord said to the angels, I'm going to create a mortal of sounding clay, of black mud fashioned into shape. So when I have made him complete and breathed into him of my spirit, fall down making obeisance to him. So the angels made obeisance, all of them together. But Iblis did it not. He refused to be with those who made obeisance. He said, O Iblis, what is the reason that thou art not with those who make obeisance? He said, I'm not going to make obeisance to a mortal whom thou hast created of sounding clay, of black mud fashioned into shape. He said, then go forth, for surely thou art driven away, and surely on thee is a curse till the day of judgment. He said, my Lord, respite me till the time when they are raised. He said, surely thou art of the respited ones, till the period of time made known. He said, my Lord, as thou hast judged me erring, I shall certainly make evil fair seeming to them on earth, and I shall cause them all to deviate, except thy servants, from among them, the purified ones. He said, this is a right way with me. As regards my servants, thou hast no authority over them except such of the deviators as follow thee. And surely hell is the promised place for them all. It has 7 gates, for each gate is an appointed portion of them. Section 4, mercy for the righteous, Abraham. Surely those who keep their duty are in gardens and fountains. Enter them in peace, secure. And we shall root out whatever of rancor is in their breasts, as brethren, on raised couches, face to face. Toil afflicts them not therein, nor will they be ejected therefrom. Inform my servants that I am the forgiving, the merciful, and that my chastisement, that is the painful chastisement. And inform them of the guests of Abraham. When they entered upon him, they said, peace. He said, we are afraid of you. They said, be not afraid. We give thee good news of a boy possessing knowledge. He said, do you give me good news when old age has come upon me? Of what then do you give me good news? They said, we give thee good news with truth. So be not thou of the despairing ones. He said, and who despairs of the mercy of his Lord but the erring ones? He said, what is your business then, O messengers? They said, we have been sent to a guilty people, except Lot's followers. We shall deliver them all, except his wife. We ordained that she shall surely be of those who remain behind.
Sister Diabra.
Lot and Shuab. So when the messengers came to Lot's followers, he said, "Surely you are an unknown people." They say, "Nay, we have come to thee with that about which they disputed. And we have come to thee with the truth, and we are surely thankful." Truthful. So travel with thy followers for a part of the night, and thyself follow their rear, and let not any one of you turn around or go whither you are commanded. And we made known to him this decree, that the roots of these should be cut off in the morning. And the people of the town came rejoicing. He said, "These are my guests, so disgrace me not, and keep your duty to Allah, and shame me not." They said, we did we not forbid thee from entertaining people? He said, "These are my daughters, if you will do aught." By thy light, by thy light, they blindly wandered on in their frenzy. So the cry overtook them at sunrise. Thus we turned it upside down and rained upon them hard stones. Surely in this are signs for those who take a lesson. And it is on a road that still abides. Verily therein is a sign for the believers, and the dwellers of the thicket were indeed iniquitous. So we inflicted retribution on them, and they are both on an open high road. Section 6, dwellers of the rock, and a warning. And the dwellers of the rock indeed rejected the messengers, and we gave them our messages, but they turned away from them. And they hewed houses in the mountains in security. So the cry overtook them in the morning, and what they earned availed them not. And we created not the heavens and the earth and what is between them, but with truth. And the hour is surely coming, so turn away with kindly forgiveness. Surely thy Lord, he is the creator, the knower. And certainly we have given thee seven oft repeated verses and the Grand Quran. Strain not thine eyes at what we have given certain classes of them to enjoy, and grieve not for them, and make thyself gentle to the believers. And say, I am indeed the plain warner. Like as we went down on them who took oaths, those who divided the Quran into parts. So by thy Lord, we shall question them all as to what they did. Therefore, declare openly what thou art commanded, and turn away from the polytheists. Surely we are sufficient for thee against the scoffers, those who set up another God with Allah, so they will come to know. And we know indeed that thy breast straightens at what they say. So celebrate the praise of thy Lord, and be of those who make obeisance, and serve thy Lord until there come to thee that which is certain.
Brother Jamel.
So, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Chapter 16, the B, Section 1, Revelation testified by nature. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Allah's commandment will come to pass, so seek not to hasten it. Glory be to him, and highly exalted be he above what they associate with him. He sends down his angels with revelations by his command on whom he pleases of his servants, saying, Give the warning that there is no God but me, so keep your duty to me. He created the heavens and the earth with truth. Highly exalted be he above what they associate with him. He created man from a small life germ, and lo, he is an open contender. And the cattle, he has created them for you. You have in them warm clothing and other advantages, and of them you eat. And therein is beauty for you, when you drive them back home, and when you send them out to pasture. And they carry your heavy loads to regions which you cannot reach but with distress to yourselves. Surely your Lord is compassionate, merciful. And he made horses and mules and asses that you might ride upon them, and as an ornament. And he creates what you know not. And upon Allah it rests to show the right way. and there are some deviating ways. And if he please, he would guide you all aright. Section 2. Nature upholds unity. He it is who sends down water from the clouds for you. It gives drink, and by it grows the trees on which you feed. He causes to grow for you thereby herbage and the olives, and the date palms, and the grapes, and all the fruits. Surely there is a sign in this for a people who reflect. He has made subservient for you the night and the day, and the sun and the moon, and the stars are made subservient by his command. Surely there are signs of this for a people who understand. And what he has created for you in the earth is of varied hues. Surely there is a sign in this for people who are mindful. And he it is who has made the sea subservient that you may eat fresh flesh from it and bring forth from it ornaments which you wear. And thou seest the ships cleaving through it, so that you seek of his bounty and that you may give thanks. And he has cast firm mountains in the earth, lest it quake with you, and the rivers and roads that you may go aright, and landmarks, and by the stars they find the right way. Is he then who creates like him who creates not? Do you not then mind? And if you would count Allah's favors, you will not be able to number them. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And Allah knows what you conceal and what you do openly. And those whom they call on besides Allah created not, while they are themselves created. Dead are they, not living, and they know not when they will be raised.
Sister Ebony.
Assalamu alaikum. Section 3, denial due to ignorance. Your God is one God. So those who believe not in the hereafter, their hearts refuse to know, and they are proud. Undoubtedly, Allah knows what they hide and what they manifest. Surely he loves not the proud. And when it is said to them, what is it that your Lord has revealed? They say, stories of the ancients, that they may bear their burdens in full on the day of resurrection, and also of the burdens of those whom they lead astray without knowledge. Ah, evil is what they bear. Section 4. The wicked will come to disgrace. Those before them plotted, so Allah demolished their building from the foundations. So the roof fell down on them from above them, and the chastisement came to them from whence they perceived not. Then on the resurrection day he will bring them to disgrace and say, where are my partners, for whose sake you become hostile? Those who are given the knowledge will say, surely disgrace this day, and evil are upon the disbelievers. Whom the angels cause to die while they are unjust to themselves. Then would they offer submission? We did not do any evil. Nay, surely Allah knows what you did. So enter the gates of hell to abide therein. Evil indeed is the dwelling place of the proud. And it is said to those who guard against evil, what has your Lord revealed? They say, good. For those who do good in this world is good, and certainly the abode of the hereafter is better. And excellent indeed is the abode of those who keep their duty. Gardens of perpetuity which they enter, wherein flow rivers. They have therein what they please. Thus does Allah reward those who keep their duty. Whom the angels cause to die in purity, saying, Peace be to you. Enter the garden for what you did. Await they ought, but that the angels should come to them, or thy Lord's command should come to pass. Thus did those before them, and Allah wronged them not, but they wronged themselves. So the evil of what they did afflicted them, and that which they mocked encompassed them. Section 5. Prophets are raised to explain. And the idolaters say, if Allah pleased, we would not have served aught but him, neither we nor our fathers, nor would we have prohibited aught without order from him. Thus did those before them. But have the messengers any duty except a plain delivery of the message? And certainly we raised in every nation a messenger, saying, serve Allah and shun the devil. Then of them was he whom Allah guided, and of them was he whose remaining in error was justly due. So travel in the land then see what was the end of the rejectors. If thou desirest their guidance, yet Allah will not guide them who leads astray, nor have they any helpers. And they swear by Allah their most energetic oaths. Allah will not raise him up who dies. Yeah, it is a promise binding on him, quite true, but most people know not. So that he may make manifest to them that about sorry so that he might make manifest to them about which they differ, and that those who disbelieve may know that they were liars. Our word for a thing when we intend it is only that we say to it, be, and it is. Section 6.
I think so. Was that two?
Yeah, I think so.
This is Tornisa.
Section 6. Doom of opponents is coming. And those who flee for Allah's sake after they are oppressed, we shall certainly give them a good abode in the world, and the reward of the hereafter is much greater. Did they but know? Those who are steadfast and on their Lord they rely. And we sent not before thee any but men to whom we sent revelation. So ask the followers of the reminder, if you know not. With clear arguments and scriptures, and we have revealed to thee in the reminder that thou mayest make clear to men that which has been revealed to them, and that haply they may reflect. Are they then who plan evil plans secure that Allah will not abase them in the earth, or that chastisement will not overtake them from whence they perceive not? Or that he will not seize them in their going to and fro, then they will not be able to escape? Or that he will not seize them with a gradual diminution? Your Lord is surely compassionate, merciful. See that not everything that Allah has created, its very shadows return from right and left, making obeisance to Allah, while they are in utter abasement. And to Allah makes obeisance every living creature that is in the heavens and that is in the earth, and the angels too, and they are not proud. They fear their Lord above them and do what they are commanded. Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Section 7. Human nature revolts against polytheism. And Allah has said, take not two gods. He is only one God. So me alone should you fear. And whatever is in the heavens and the earth is his. And to him is obedience due always. Will you then fear other than Allah? And whatever good you have, it is from Allah. Then when evil afflicts you, to him do you cry for aid. Then when he removes the evil from you, lo, some of you associate others with their Lord, so as to deny what we have given them. Then enjoy yourselves, for soon will you know. And they set apart for what they know not, a portion of what we have given them by Allah. You shall certainly be questioned about that which you forged. And they ascribe daughters to Allah. Glory be to him. And for themselves is what they desire. And when the birth of a daughter is announced to one of them, his face becomes black and he is full of wrath. He hides himself from the people because of the evil what is announced to him. Shall he keep it with disgrace or bury it alive in the dust? Now surely evil is what they judge. For those who believe not in the hereafter are evil attributes, and Allah's are the sublime attributes. And He is the mighty, the wise.
Brother Javar.
Section 8. Iniquity of deniers. And if Allah were to destroy man for their iniquity, he would not leave therein a single creature, but he respites them till an appointed time. So when their doom comes, they are not able to delay it an hour, nor can they advance it. And they ascribe to Allah what they themselves hate, and their tongues relate the lie, that for them is good. Assuredly, for them is the fire, and they will be therein abandoned. By Allah, we certainly sent messengers to the nations before thee, but the devil made their deeds fair seeming to them. So he is their patron today, and for them is a painful chastisement. And we have not revealed to thee the book except that thou mayest make clear to them that wherein they differ, and as a guidance and a mercy for people who believe. And Allah sends down water from above, and therewith gives life to the earth after its death. Surely there is a sign in this for people who listen. Section 9, Parables showing the truth of revelation. And surely there is a lesson for you and the cattle. We give you to drink of what is in their bellies, from betwixt the faces and the blood, pure milk, agreeable to the drinkers. And of the fruits of the palms and the grapes you obtain from them intoxicants and goodly provision. There is surely a sign in this for people who ponder. And thy Lord revealed to the bee, make hives in the mountains and in the trees and in what they build. Then eat of all the fruits and walk in the ways of thy Lord submissively. There comes forth from their bellies a beverage of many hues, in which there is healing for men. Therein is surely a sign for a people who reflect. And Allah creates you, and then he causes you to die. And the view is he who is brought back to the worst part of life, so that he knows nothing after having knowledge. Surely Allah is knowing, powerful.
I think we have Brother Nurse Earl.
Assalamu alaikum. Section 10, the recipient of revelation. And Allah has made some of you excel others in the means of subsistence. So those who are made to excel give not away their sustenance to those who their right hands possess, so that they may be equal therein. Will they then deny the favor of Allah? And Allah has made wives for you from amongst yourselves, and has given you sons and daughters from your wives, and has provided you with good things. Will they then believe in falsehood and deny the favor of Allah? And they serve besides Allah, that which controls for them no sustenance to all from the heavens and the earth, nor have they any power. So coin not similitudes for Allah. Surely Allah knows, and you know not. Allah sets forth a parable. There's a slave, the property of another, controlling naught, and there is one to whom we have granted from ourselves goodly provisions. So he spends from it secretly and openly. Are the two alike? Praise be to Allah. Nay, most of them know not. And Allah sets forth a parable of two men, one of them dumb, controlling naught, and he is a burden to his master. Wherever he sends him, he brings no good. Is he equal with him who enjoins justice? And he is on the right path. Section 11, punishment withheld. And Allah's is the unseen of the heavens and the earth. And the matter of the hour is but a twinkling of an eye, or it is nigher still. Surely Allah is possessor of power over all things. And Allah brought you forth from the wombs of your mothers. You knew nothing. And he gave you hearing and sight and hearts that you might give thanks. See they not the birds, the constrained in the middle of the sky? None withholds them but Allah. Surely in this are signs for people who believe. And Allah has given you an abode in your houses, and has given you houses of the skins of cattle, which you find light to carry on the day of your march and on the day of your halting, and of their wool and their fur and their hair, household stuff and a provision for a time. And Allah has made for you of what he has created, shelters he has given you in the mountains, places of retreat, and he has given you garments to save you from the heat, and coats of mail to save you in your fighting. Thus does he complete his favor to you, and that you may submit. Then if they turn away, thy duty is only clear deliverance of the message. They recognize the favor of Allah, yet they deny it, and most of them are ungrateful.
Section 12. Prophets testify. And on the day when we raise up a witness out of every nation, then permission to offer excuse would not be given to the disbelievers, nor would they be allowed to make amends. And when the wrongdoers see the chastisement, it will not be lightened for them, nor will they be respited. And when those who ascribe partners to Allah see their associate gods, they will say, Our Lord, these are our associate gods on whom we call besides thee. But they will throw back at them the word, Surely you are liars. And they will tender submission to Allah on that day, and what they use to forge will fail them. Those who disbelieve and hinder men from Allah's way, we will add chastisement to their chastisement because they made mischief. And on the day when we raise up and every people a witness against them from among themselves, and bring thee as a witness against thee, and we have revealed the book to thee, explaining all things, and guidance and mercy and good news for those who submit. Section 13, Revelation, enjoins good. Surely Allah enjoins justice and doing of good to others, and the giving to the kindred, and he forbids indecency and evil and rebellion. He admonishes you that you may be mindful, and fulfill the covenant of Allah. When you have made a covenant and break not the oaths after making them fast, and you have indeed made Allah your surety. Surely Allah knows what you do. And be not like her who unravels her yarn, disintegrating it into pieces after she has spun it strongly. You make your oaths to be means of deceit between you, because one nation is more numerous than another nation. Allah only tries you by this, and he will certainly make clear to you on the day of resurrection that wherein you differed. And if Allah please, he will make you a single nation, but he leaves in error whom he pleases and guides whom he pleases. And certainly you will be questioned as to what you did. And make not your oaths a means of deceit between you, lest the foot should slip after its stability, and you should taste evil because you hinder men from Allah's way, and grievous chastisement be your lot. And take not a small price for Allah's covenant. Surely what is with Allah is better for you. Did you but know? What is with you passes away, and what is with Allah is enduring. And we shall certainly give to those who are patient their reward for the best of what they did. Whoever does good, whether male or female, and is a believer, we shall certainly make him live a good life, and we shall certainly give them their reward for the best of what they did. So when thou hast recited the Quran, seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil. Surely he has no authority over those who believe and rely on their Lord. His authority is only over those who befriend him and those who associate others with him. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Section 14, the Quran is not a forgery. And when we change a message for a message, and Allah knows best what he reveals, they say, Thou art only a forger. Nay, most of them know not. Say, the Holy Spirit has revealed it from thy Lord with truth, that it may establish those who believe, and as a guidance and good news for those who submit. And indeed, we know that they say, only a mortal teaches him. The tongue of him whom they hint at is foreign, and this is clear Arabic language. Those who believe not in Allah's messages Allah guides them not, and for them is a painful chastisement. Only they forge lies who believe not in Allah's messages, and they are the liars. Whoso disbelieves in Allah after his belief, not he who is compelled while his heart is content with faith, but he who opens his breast for disbelief. On them is the wrath of Allah, and for them is a grievous chastisement. That is because they love this world's life more than the hereafter, and because Allah guides not the disbelieving people. These are they whose hearts and ears and eyes Allah has sealed, and these are the heedless ones. No doubt that in the hereafter they are the losers. Then surely thy Lord, to those who flee after they are persecuted, then struggle hard and are patient, surely thy Lord after that is protecting, merciful. Section 15, fate of the opponents. On the day when every soul will come pleading for itself, and every soul will be paid in full what it has done, and they will not be dealt with unjustly. And Allah sets forth a parable. A town safe and secure, to which its means of subsistence came in abundance from every quarter, but it disbelieved in Allah's favors, so Allah made it taste a pall of hunger and fear because of what they wrought. And certainly there came to them a messenger from among them, but they rejected him. So the chastisement overtook them while they were wrongdoers. So eat of what Allah has given you, lawful and good things, and give thanks for Allah's favor, if He it is you serve. He has forbidden you only what dies of itself, and blood, and the flesh of swine, and that over which any other name than that of Allah has been invoked. But whoever is driven to it, not desiring nor exceeding the limit, then surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And utter not for what your tongues describe the lie. This is lawful and this unlawful, so that you forge a lie against Allah. Surely those who forge a lie against Allah will not prosper. A little enjoyment, and for them is a painful chastisement. And to those who are Jews, we prohibited what we have related to thee already, and we did them no wrong, but they wronged themselves. And surely thy Lord, for those who do evil in ignorance, then turn after that and make amends, surely thy Lord after that is forgiving, merciful.
Sister Diabra.
All right. Section 16, the way to greatness. Surely Abraham was a model of virtue, obedient to Allah, upright, and he was not of the polytheists. Grateful for his favors, he chose him and guided him on the right path. And we gave him good in this world, and in the hereafter he is surely among the righteous. Then we revealed to thee, follow the faith of Abraham, the upright one, and he was not of the polytheists. The Sabbath was ordained only against those who differ about it. And surely thy Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection concerning that wherein they differed. Call to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and goodly exhortation, and argue with them in the best manner. Surely thy Lord knows best him who strays from his path, and he knows best those who go aright. And if you take your turn, then punish with the like of that with which you were afflicted. But if you show patience, it is certainly best for the patient. And be patient, and thy patient is not but by the help of Allah, and grieve not for them, nor be in distress for what they plan. Surely Allah is with those who keep their duty and those who do good to others.
Praise be to Allah. That is part number 14. We are complete. Thank you all for reading. Press number 3 if you have anything that you would like to share. Press the number 3 if you have anything that you would like to share. That stood out to you. Let's get our timer together. And let's start with Brother Marcus.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the one that stood out to me today, oh, Ramadan Mubarak, by the way, to everybody. Surah 16, section 3, denial due to ignorance. Your God is one God, so those who believe not in the hereafter, their hearts refuse to know and they are proud. Undoubtedly, Allah knows what they hide and what they manifest. Surely he loves not the proud. And when it's said to them, what is it that your Lord has revealed? They say stories of the ancients, that they may bear their burdens in full on the day of resurrection, and also of the burdens of those whom they lead astray without knowledge. Ah, evil is what they bear. That one stood out to me so much just because of how proud this world is and how proud really we are. And I have family members. And when I read this, it really made me think of one particular family member who is just very denouncing of a lot of religions and a lot of things, but like his view on stuff is just crazy sometimes to me. And he's very much like, there is like, he sees us as crazy. He sees us like we're crazy because we've never seen Allah before. All we have is talked from ancients, literally what he says, or not his exact words, but that's where it's going. And so when I read it and I'm looking at that, I'm like, it's crazy how it just popped up in my head. And that's a perfect example. And it's someone so close to me. And that's the part you can try to talk to these people. And I've tried to talk to them. I want to bring them to the mosque with me a couple of times. Now this is my second Ramadan. No, yeah, this is my second Ramadan. So I'm still fairly new, but it has changed me so much. And I would love to share with some people around me. And then to just hear some of the things they say is just crazy. And then when I read it in the book, I'm like, okay, so Allah blocked your heart. That's why. I get it now. I understand that now. And it's just like, man, it's really crazy. And it literally shows you right here. So that's all I really have to say. I love this every morning. Thank you for having us. Allahu Akbar. Let's do it.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. All right. Yes, indeed. Ramadan Mubarak family. I'm gonna start with 1610, section 2. Let me pull it up so I can read it. 16, chapter 16, section 2, verse 10. And it says, He it is who sends down water from the clouds for you. It gives drink, and by it grows the trees on which you feed. He causes to grow for you thereby herbage, and the olives, and the date palms, and the grapes, and all the fruits. Surely there is a sign in this for people who reflect. And he goes on in the Quran, Allah goes on to describe situations where he's talking about in this physical world how we are blessed and given this, and people don't reflect, and he rains down the water and causes this to happen. And he's creating it. And why? How are you going to worship something that's not creating anything? And but here's Allah created all of this for us to take charge of this post and all temple property in view and make some stuff happen and go to work, call on him, and he'll bless us to be able to make all these things happen. Another piece was verse 84, ayat 84. I'll get to it. It says, Allah writes, and on the day when we raise up a witness out of every nation, then permission to offer excuse will not be given to the disbelievers, nor will they be allowed to make amends. In the current final call, there's an article talking about Gaza 2030, the Arab plan to rebuild the Gaza Strip. And real briefly, it says America and Israel are by themselves, isolated and alone on rejecting a Gaza reconstruction plan proposed by Egypt and signed off by 22-member Arab League and numerous other nations in Europe and Africa. When Allah said right there, and on the day when we raise up a witness out of every nation, You've got all these nations, and it goes on to talk about in this article in the final call. South Africa welcomes the outcomes of the Arab League Emergency Summit held on March 4th, supports a settlement on Gaza. You got all these nations, and then the rest of the world even backing this energy in Gaza to rebuild it and build homes. They're talking about putting 200,000 homes over there and restoring 60,000 buildings is what the Arab League has agreed to and what they want to do. But Israel and America aren't with it. So I say that just from reading with the Quran, what Allah just said in 84. Um, yeah, it's real evident to me they running out of time and the world's coming together to recognize who's the real enemy out here.
Brother Nurse Earl.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Yes, sir. So I just want to talk about section 13. Revelation enjoins good. Verse 90. Surely Allah enjoins justice in the doing of good to others, and the giving to the kindred, and he forbids indecency and evil and rebellion. He admonishes you that you may be mindful. Now, when I read down in the footnote 1393, I just wanted to touch on that for a second. It says, this verse deals comprehensively with the different degrees of goodness and evil. The lowest form of goodness is that which is called justice, and that's the lowest form. Or justice. It says, or returning the good for good. Like when you do good and you want good back. And includes not only justice proper, but also the fulfillment of all duties and obligations, as they are all more or less take the form of doing good for good. The higher degree of goodness is, however, that which is called ishan, or goodness proper. It is the doing of good in cases where man has received no benefit. The last stage of goodness is that in which a man's nature is so inclined to good that he has not to make an effort in doing good. He does good to all people as an ordinary man does good, his own kindred. In fact, he looks upon the whole of humanity as his kindred. Similarly, this verse deals with the 3 degrees of evil, from the merest indecency to the wrongful conduct which violates the rights and individuals of nations, like brother was just saying. It says fasha, or indecency, is that in which is evil in itself, that it may not affect the rights of others. Anything not agreeable with truth, munkar, which is disapproved, is that which affects the rights of other individuals. And exceedingly the bounds, which brother was talking about, is oppression or rebellion affecting the rights of large numbers, nations, or states. And then real quick, the next verse, it talks about verse 92, and be not like her who unravels the yarn, disintegrating it into pieces after she has spun it strongly. And that's the next footnote 1394. And real quick, it says, a man who accepts the truth but does not act according to it is likened to a woman who first spins her yarn and then unravels it. This is sheer madness. But this is the very thing of which most people are guilty. It's funny that it says most. Now, also, the author here, he's also wrote this, is an English scholar. So I'll just leave it at that and pass the mic on. Peace, brother. Peace, fam.
Peace, Brother Jamil.
Sir, assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Man, brothers and sisters, I gotta say this, man. Every time we do a reading, I just experience something from the reading in real time. So my text is coming from Surah 16, verses 99 to 100. Surely he has no authority over those who believe and rely on their Lord. His authority is only over those who befriend him and those who associate others with him. And I'm gonna be very quick. Yesterday I explained to the brothers and sisters on this platform about my situation with trying to obtain my license. So after we got done the Zoom call, I made a phone call to New York State Department of Motor Vehicles. But before I placed the call, I kind of offered a little prayer to Allah who came in the person of Master for Muhammad to guide my words and to keep me in a state of humility and not to allow my anger to get the best of me. So I called them. We spoke about the $500, and guess what? They said, "Well, is another assessment too for $550 because of the other three tickets." Instantly, a rage came inside of me, and I started to go off, and I had to catch myself. And I just said, "Man, I seek refuge in Allah from the cursed devil." And I said, "Allah, please help me to guide my words." And I started the conversation over, and I said, "Ma'am, what can I do to rectify this? Because I've been gone for so long, and this is something about 30 years old now." She said, "Oh yeah, okay. I'll tell you what you could do. You could go online, ask to reopen these cases, go see a judge, and I'm quite sure he'll either lower it or throw all these tickets out." So all praise to the law when we rely on Allah and not our own lower desires to guide us, better things will happen. Assalamu alaikum.
Lake Salam. Praise be to Allah. Thank you. Lake Salam. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for sharing. Sister Tamiko.
Yes, sir. So what stood out to me was Surah 16, verse 4, when it said, He created the heavens and the earth with truth, and highly exalted is He, and uh, highly above what they associate with Him. He created man from a small life germ, and lo, he is an open contender. And so this is one ayat that always gets me, and it talks about how Allah God, He is this great, this creator, and this very small life germ contends with Him. The His creation, His own creation, fights and argues against Him. His own creation disagrees with Him or disbelieves in Him, but He still allows us. He makes things subservient, or He makes His creation to serve us. And it just reminds me of His patience and how He allows us to still grow in His universe and in His creation. And it reminds me of parents, because parents, we pretty much have like the same position. He allows us in a position to where we are, in a sense, God to our small children, and they contend with us. So we have this little bitty 2 feet child, or this little, 2-year old or 3-year old, and they fight against us. They argue with us. However, we still have a responsibility as parents to help them and to make things subservient to them. Put them in a position to where they are learning how to rule, or they're learning how to take responsibility. And so this is just what comes to mind when I think about this ayat.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. I don't have the Quran in front of me, but I was looking at the ayat where Allah created Adam from black mud, fashioned into shape, in order the angels to bow down, and they all did, but Iblis. It just makes me think about the original man and how we are that Adam, and how we are fashioned from black mud into shape. I can remember when the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said that mud, when he was using it in context of mud being thrown at you when somebody is trying to denigrate or slander you, he said mud is a purifier. When you put it on your face mixed with water, it draws out the impurities. And it's a very humbling state. And the bliss that didn't submit was very fiery. So we are now in a condition as a people where we have been humbled as the low of the low, but we have the chance of being reshaped out of mud, or that which is mixed with water, or the word of God, to be fastened into something great and wonderful. And amongst us is the exalted Christ. And the people have to look to this people to find God, but they don't want to. They're very fiery. They don't want to. And we, even ourselves, have to get rid of that disposition where we don't really hear anything from anybody black. And then we have to accept the divinity that God is showing us in the mirror and cultivate it with humility and purify ourselves of the things that are in us, where we can reflect that Adam that the world will have to look to find God and not fall victim to the Iblisian mindset where we are fiery and get ourselves knocked out of the kingdom. Thank you, family.
Yes, sir. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. I wanted to comment on
No,
what
sir.
brother.
No, sir, Brother Ben. I was Sister Tornisa.
Oh, y'all have two different lists. Sister Ternisa.
Assalamualaikum. I'm reading from section 14. The Quran is not a forgery. And we look up the word forge, forgery. And it talks about and when we change a message for a message, and Allah knows best what He reveals, they say, thou art only a forger. And we know about forgery in school or forging someone's name or letters. It talks about that. That's not what we should be doing. We should not be forging a message for a message, especially when it deals with Allah. And Allah's not going to bless that. And He doesn't teach us that. So we need to be clear. We got to be very clear. Oh, God says, or this one says, and we know that that person didn't say it because we're trying to fluff up a argument or a statement to make it seem like it's falling on our way. So we start saying this person said, the minister said, this one said, knowing that that's a forgery, that's a lie. And Allah just says, we don't exchange message for a message. That's not what we do just to get our way. So, we deal with that in court systems, anything to make it seem our way. But Allah is the best knower. So that's one part that stood out to me. Um, and then to open up our breasts, with disbelief. And we have a tendency of always, sometimes when it deals with people that's in the music industry or just people that oh, God sent me here, and you're dealing with drugs or stealing the car. Oh, it was God that led me to this place. No, that's not, you going with your own beliefs, but now you're trying to blame it on God. Another part that stood out to me was section 16, the way to greatness. Brother Ben, you talk about it all the time that if you want someone, you want to know what someone is doing, study that individual, and then the same outcomes that they have is the one that you would be able to get or achieve. Well, it talks about surely Abraham was a model of virtue, obedient to Allah, upright, and he was not of the polytheists. So if we really want to, go by what Allah has given us, it talks about it in this book, how we could study Abraham and get the information from him. And he shows us and he talks about how grateful for his favors. He chose him and guided him on the right path. We don't have to look further. Look who the most honorable Elijah Muhammad chose. Look who Master Farah Muhammad chose. We don't have to go no further. But this is given us, and we gave him good in this world and in the hereafter. He is surely among of the righteous. So we see what the minister is doing. We see that he has truth in his heart. We see that he wants the best for us. So why are we going somewhere else? But Allah is showing us this. And one other thing, it talks about how this is a book. The Holy Quran, it talks about how he gave us the Holy Quran for our information. And this is clear Arabic language. So, sometimes some of the books you might see might have different pronunciation or just our dialogue. But if you read in the Arabic translation, everything is always the same. So, we might mispronounce words and this and the other, but when it comes to Allah's word, everything is the same. When you recite it in Arabic, it is the same. So I just want to say that we have to become, like you said, Brother Ben, it's not what you read, it's how much pages stay within you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. To Brother Sultan and Jamel, appreciate y'all for communicating and Sultan being there. when I think about with Savior's Day fresh in the air, repent for the kingdom of God is at hand. Pulling apart from page 5 in the current final call, and the minister, well, yeah, it's written in here on page 5. It says, and I think about prison. Think about America. We all in a prison. The planet. We all in a prison. And I think about those that are actually in prison, like Brother Jamel, my brother was, and the story it says in on page 5 it says you've got to be awakened, but the first thing is who are you? Let me back up a little bit. It says so when Jonah was finally awakened and went to the upper deck, the first question he was asked was, "Who are you? What people do you come from? What is your name? Who is your God?" And before I go further on that, the idea of Master Fard Muhammad, the supreme guide given to the planet, he said, obey the laws of the land. As long as it does not conflict, I'm going to say, with your submitting to do Allah's will. And so the humbling element and these devils that have us kind of as prisoners. As brother talked to the sister, he didn't let that fiery spirit come over him. And he said, what do I have to do? You tell me what I have to do to get right. In essence, I'm paraphrasing, of course. And it says, so back to the reading, you've got to be awakened. But the first thing is, who are you? What's your identity? What people do you come from? Who is your God? So the story goes on that Jonah, he ended up saying who he was, and he acknowledged that he was running from God. He admitted it. It's all my fault, and all this trouble is because of me. And he told them, I have been running from God. And he said, if you throw me overboard, the storm will cease. A lot of your pain, white folks and evil people, a lot of your pain will be over with if you just let us go. But the captain and the crew didn't want to do that. But the storm intensified and it got to that point. It's either you or us. And then you got to go. You've got to go. He let him go. They prayed and asked God for forgiveness for throwing this man overboard, but they had to get rid of him. They had to let him go. Oh, America, see, God been telling you, let my people go. Oh, but you don't want to let us go, and you don't want to go. See, when we run from God, we run from one trouble into another. And when I see my brother Jamel, man, submitting and all right, let me just go ahead and deal with this the way Master Fard Muhammad has been guiding us through the minister, through the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to have a conversation with them. And let's talk about it. And okay, what you want me to do? And they can let us go.
Brother Nurse Earl, and then we're going to end with Brother Jamel.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to finish my point from earlier. I just didn't want to get cut off. So with chapter 16, section 13, Revelation enjoins good. On that same verse 92, and be not like her who unraveled her yarn, disintegrating it into pieces after she has spun it strongly. And just a footnote, 1394. Like I was saying, a man who accepts the truth but does not act according to it is likened to a woman who first spins her yarn and then unravels it. This is sheer madness, but this is the very thing of which most people are guilty. So it's talking about truth, but then it goes into unity and saying they are united by certain ties. But when this union brings about strength, they destroy it with their own hands. It was unity which made the Muslims rise to great power. But that unity today is talking about the Muslim world in ruins, and the strong community of Islam is like the unraveled yarn of a crazy spinner. So now I just wanted to finish that point on unity, and it's not even just, it's, even with others coming against, Islam and the unity, it's not even the opposition, it's really within the unity, amongst ourselves. So just wanted to finish that point. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother Jamel?
So, assalamu alaikum. I'm gonna take a reading from Surah 16, ayat 125. It says, call to the way of thy Lord with wisdom and goodly exhortation, and argue with them in the best manner. Surely thy Lord knows best him who strays from his path, and he knows best those who go aright. Just texted me to experience I had yesterday out while I was soldiering here in the city of Jacksonville, Florida. We were out there obviously pushing the Final Call newspaper, and at a light it was somebody beeping their horn, and I thought that it was somebody wanted to give a donation, so I kind of doubled back, and it was this Caucasian man, and he was speaking real nasty towards one of the other brothers that was in the street speaking to another sister. And I doubled back. I said, "Sir, how can I help you?" He said, "Well, you guys are not supposed to be out here in the streets doing this." I said, "Okay, sir. I'll be lying if I say that no rage didn't come up in me, and I didn't want to knock his whole head off. I had to catch myself once again, and I said, sir, before we start our conversation, I just want to ask for you to show your badge, and then I'll kindly show you the permit that we have to be out here doing this." Obviously, he got quiet. He didn't have much else to say after that. And I explained to him why we was out there, and I asked if he would like to support the cause. And obviously, he didn't want to support it. And he said, "Well, if you guys are supposed to be out here, just kind of be careful." I said, "Well, thank you so much, sir, for your concern. We appreciate that, and you have a wonderful day." And walked away. And man, I'm talking about I felt so good, because if I would have allowed the rage to take over me, I might have put myself in danger and the rest of the brothers as well. So all praise due to the Lord for giving us a wonderful verse like this. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. One of the remember yesterday I was talking about the authority thing. Today, in section 13, it says, whoever does good. Nope, it says, so when thou recited the Quran, seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil. Surely he has no authority over those who believe and rely on their Lord. His authority is only over those who befriend him and those who associate others with him. So yesterday when I was talking about, when the matters decided, he would say, oh, I had no authority over you except I called and you came. But this is saying his authority is only over those who befriend him and those who associate others with him. So let's be mindful of who and what we are befriending, what mindset we are befriending, what spirit that we are befriending. Because he really has no authority over us besides that which we give to him. That which we give to him. So that's just a reminder there. Another one was when it talks about, he said, my Lord, as thou hast judged me erring, I shall certainly make evil fair seeming to them. This is the conversation between God and the devil when he was saying, respite me. Basically, respite me till the day that they are raised. In other words, he's saying, delay my doom until they are raised. That means there's a people with a mindset to keep us down, because the more we stay down, the more their doom is delayed. So if they're saying respite me till the time when they are raised, well, that means somebody on offense to keep us down. What are we doing on offense to keep us up or to raise up? But the point I want to point out is when it says, I shall certainly make evil fair seeming to them on earth, and I shall cause them all to deviate. Then it says, except thy servants from among them and purified ones. So if we don't want to be made to deviate, question we need to ask ourselves is, hey, am I a servant? It says, except thy servants from among them, the purified ones. Another say, I think it said, and the purified ones. You won't get, I'll make all them deviate except thy purified ones. Well, then we got to think about the purification process. Is that an easy process? When you think about gold, purifying gold, the burning. the dross, the purifying it, getting down where you're not destroying it, you're purifying it, you're getting down to the good part of it, all of the toxins, if you will, the unhealthy things, the unnecessary things in your life is being purified. That's not an easy process. That's a burning, if you will. So many of us may be going through a purification process and it feels like, man, people are being removed. Life is getting hard. Life is getting difficult. What if you just going through your purification process? Purification process doesn't come with everything is on the up and up. Everything is going well. Everything around you is going well. The purification process, think about the minister, think about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, think about Master Farah Muhammad, think about our examples. Was their purification process easy? Was it without jealousy? Was it without slander? Was it without loss of life? Come on now. Was it without, at times, confusion? When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed, was the minister not confused? When Master Farah Muhammad was departing, did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad want him to go and he put that note in his palm? Man, it wasn't without confusion. Some of the things we deal with in the mosque, some of the things you deal with in your church, do we think the minister was exempt from that? When the minister said, I went to the table and I want to fight the laborers right there in front of him, and the messenger hit the table and said, seek refuge from Allah, from the envier when he envies. The minister was upset. And here you are, I'm upset with my captain. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it come with the process. You think the minister skipped that process? Was we not told that Master Farah Muhammad, at one point, I think in one of the books I read, was hit in the mouth and he held the brothers out, held the brothers off of him. He called for Elijah at the jail so that he can see the price that he had to pay. Come on, man. If he sacrificed, if they say Jesus is his only begotten son, if Jesus was crucified, come on now. You don't think we gonna be crucified? The one who's our example of how to live, how to be, the one who they say is without sin. Who are we not to go through our trial? So really, if we see that this is the example, this is the process of becoming one with the God. If we are not going through a struggle, we ought to be kind of confused. Man, hold on, man. Am I on the right path? Life is a little too easy because we taught struggle is ordained. So the minister teaches us, don't duck the difficulty. Face it. Because the more you duck it, man, we running away from that which we praying for. Don't duck it. So what, people leave? So what, people get removed? So what, things ain't aligned? So what, things fall apart? So what, people envy you? So what, people slander? I know it hurt. I know, yeah. That's a part of the process, son. Daughter, of making you what I need you to become. Because after the purification, after you've gone through this, let's look at the definition of purified. When I looked up the definition of purified, it says to remove bad substances from something to make it pure. I think there's a quote I posted. It says the minister knows how to remove things away from you that will hinder your development. See, there are some things in our life that we want to hold on to that maybe Allah is positioning us to be removed, whether if it's a business deals, people, situations, thought processes that we want to hold on to. But hey, man, it's a purification. Thoughts about yourself, bad habits in yourself. Sometimes it's either going to be pleasure or it's going to be pain. That'll remove certain stuff. Sometimes, the pleasure makes you want to move, but sometimes pain, you got to go through pain and say, oh, I'm not doing that no more. That was a part of your purification process. So that in the end, you're purified. See, don't worry about you on chapter 2, writing your chapter. See, some of you brothers been to prison and you talk about it, and they can judge you if they want to. Look at you now. Yo, they can judge how you used to be. They can judge your thought process. Look at a nigga done went to prison. Nigga ain't got no self-control. Nigga head case. Nigga wanted to did that. Okay, yeah. Judge me on chapter 2 if you want to. But to God, he permitted this. I'm going through this here because when you read chapter 10, oh my goodness, you're going to be looking at a new human being. And if you still judging me on chapter 2, you the fool, not me. You the fool. So I want to say this. As you learn to not be crushed by the opinions of others while you going through your purification process, I encourage us all to have patience and not even judge yourself. Some of us don't know ourselves. Some of us, if we can be honest, don't even know why you do the things that you do. Why am I like this? It's not that you want to do bad. Come on, keep it real. If we can be real, it ain't that you want to do bad. Sometimes you do something, you say, God dang, boy, why you do that? What is it? You don't realize that, boy, you seen that growing up all your life. Sister, this is the only example that you had. There's a voice telling you don't do it, but it ain't as easy as that. So don't judge yourself. This is what the Dianetics is for. When you go down and you get to the root, where did this come from? Where did this thought process come from? Where did this originate from? Why can't I love myself? Why can't I have a good this? Why can't I have a good that? What is the root of this? Well, you comfortable with dysfunction, I'm learning. Oh, good God Almighty. You grew up, son. You grew up, daughter, where it was nothing but dysfunction. And that became your norm. So when there's no dysfunction, you like, uh-oh, this ain't normal. This is weird. This is awkward for me. Oh, but you didn't realize it because that was your norm. And to somebody else, that's abnormal. But when you identify it, now you're able to have more information that gives you more options that give you maybe a better decision. But if we don't know it, we don't get to the root of it, we don't know why we're doing, which is only the symptom. I'm just doing it. That's a symptom. That ain't my root. So be more patient with yourself, because we are taught that the trials and difficulties bring out of us that which we didn't even know was in us. So sometimes it take a trial. Sometimes it take a irritation. That nigga here get on my nerves. Oh, I hate this situation. But that situation that you hated, it brought something up out of you. God know what he doing. He taking you through a path. So that situation, that person that you didn't like, it brought something out of you. That if we have the right attitude, that is, you could just point the blame and just only get, point out how somebody else was wrong. But if in the process you find out and you more self-aware about yourself, well, no matter how quote unquote bad it was also a good thing. So all things works out for the greater good to those who believe. So, man, when I think about purified, oh, man, I encourage us, man, to don't give up in that purification process, man. Don't give up on yourself. Don't make a judgment on yourself as you going through your purification process. And let's be mindful when we see somebody else going through their transition. Closing the Gap talk about that. when you looking at a man in transition. You look at him in the embryonic stage. You look at him in the baby phase, but he's evolving. He's growing. He's developing. What he was as a baby is going to be different than a toddler, adolescent, and adult. So if you judge a man or a woman in that transitional phase, you making a misjudgment, and you may be blocking your own blessing by, come on now, misjudging one who's just in transition phase with your self-righteous self. Yeah. No, yeah, you ain't how they are in they transitional state. But what if the God is preparing them to be better than you in duty, in submission? So yeah, the brother went to prison. The sister did this. The brother used to do that. Yeah, you got him. Good job. You got him. But when the God is done with him, he ain't done. If he's still alive, the pen is still writing. Until there's a period on that book, you should be mindful making judgment. Because same way we're taught that somebody could turn a hypocrite overnight. We know that. Oh, we love to quote that one, don't we? Oh, you turn hypocrite overnight. Oh, we love to quote that one. Oh, that would sound good. You want to tell a nigga how he can become a hypocrite overnight. But can a brother change his life overnight too? Is that a possibility? Can a brother or a sister go from what they was to, some better? And here you are, done made a judgment on him. This is who he is. This is who she is. And what if he's able to make a change and you done condemn them to hell? You done condemned them to hell. Think about all the people that did that to the minister in his time, and look at the minister now. Loving, still want to help him. All right. So that's it. Just want to share that with us, man. The purification process is a difficult process. It's a burning process. It's not a comfortable process. It's hard. So don't come to God expecting easy. So as we close out, I want to shout out those who supported our power call. We want to thank those of us who keep this going. We want to shout out to Kenneth Jones, man. Thank you, brother Kenneth Jones, for supporting your power call. Shout out to Don Muhammad for supporting your power call. Thank you. Shout out to Vatima X Coles for supporting your power call, and shout out to Sister Sherry X for supporting your power call. If anybody would like to support, you can go to www.thepowercall.net. It is pinned to the top where you guys can support. We do not have Cash App, but we do have the PayPal. If you don't have PayPal, you can also do it with a card. So PayPal should be pretty good. If you just do not have that either, brotherbenx@gmail.com is what you can Zelle to. brotherbenx@gmail.com. But I think PayPal should be pretty good for everybody because you don't need a what's the name. And then I'm going to make it my business to every person that supports, whether if you give $1, $2, $50, $100, $10,000, whatever Allah puts on your heart, I want to make sure I shout you out. So everybody all over the world, the hundreds of people that tune in every day, know who's supporting this platform that we are building here. So with that being said, I thank everybody for reading. I thank everybody for the feedback that y'all gave, and I thank everybody who tunes in every morning and those who share this opportunity and platform with others so that they can get some spiritual injection, some spiritual and upliftment, and practice some fasting, which helps us eventually with our discipline. With that being said, Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you all, and y'all have a blacktastic day. Assalamu alaikum.
Ramadan Kareem. Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister.